What's up everyone, Kriddle here, and I've been asked a lot about console settings for parental controls, so I'm going to go over the PlayStation today. I'm going to be doing this on the PlayStation 5. This should be very similar to the PlayStation 4, and it also sets up some of the stuff for the PlayStation 3. So you should be able to follow along no matter which system you're using, but like I said, we will be using the PlayStation 5 to do this. The first thing you're going to want to do is to create an account for yourself, not just for your child, but also for yourself. We'll go over why to do that here in just a minute. But to do that, you can go right over here to PlayStation.com and you can go to the sign in and then click right down here to create new account and follow the steps to create a new account. You will need a valid email address. You also want to do that for your child as well. So if you might want to just go ahead and make both accounts now if you want to, but if you don't want to, you can just do your account and we'll go over how to make a second account for your child here in a moment. The next thing you want to do is go over to your PlayStation and you're going to go ahead and log into your PlayStation. This is going to be the screen that pops up when you first turn your PlayStation on. You hit the PlayStation button right here and it'll come up to this screen. And you can see I've already logged into my account and my son's account, but you should have a new user button or add user button right here. If you've already created your account, you can click add user and log into whatever account you created, or you can click add user and create a new account from here. And then once you have done that, you can go ahead and log into your account. So I'm going to go ahead and choose Kriddle. That is my personal account. And then while I do that, we're going to switch over to the app. So that'll log in. And then we're going to go take a look here at the app. So you want to go to your phone and go to the Apple Play Store or Google Play Store. I'm on the Google Play Store here, and type in PlayStation. This is the app you're looking for specifically right here. It says PlayStation app. Go ahead and install that and then click open. Once you open it, it'll be a blue screen. That's the wrong page right there. But it'll be a blue screen, and on the blue screen down at the bottom, it'll say log in. And you just want to log in. I can't show that because of the way my computer works. It's going to give me all sorts of errors and stuff. So I just had to go ahead and log in anyway. And then from there, you're going to click this little cog wheel and scroll right on down here. You can link your console right here. So under console management, it says link console. This helps out with being able to see a few things. I would go ahead and do this if you want to. It's not necessarily required, but I do recommend doing it. And you can see a few things that are on your console, like the storage space, things like that. You can go ahead and add games, delete games, all sorts of cool stuff that way. But we're not really going over that. That's, a different thing in general. But I would recommend doing that. But you're going to scroll down here to PlayStation Network, and then under PlayStation Network, you see Family Management. So this is where you're going to set up your child's account underneath your account. So you click that PlayStation Management or Family Management button, and then under here, it'll open up the Family Management page. If you don't have your child's account under here, it'll just show your account here. I do have my son's here, but then you just click Add Family Member. When you do that, you're going to click OK. And it might ask you to log in again when you add that family member, and give that a second to load on up. And then from here, you can either add an adult or you can add a child. So let's say you already created an account for your child previously. You could say add adult. When you go to add adult, you're just going to put in their email address here. This won't go away, never for this site. We don't want to remember any of that. You could put in their email address right there, then you can add them in. Or if you want to make a child account, you can go right here, put in their birth date, all that kind of stuff. And you do have to have an email account, and you create their password there. So you'll create your child's account directly from this screen. Once you have created that account, you can go ahead and close that window, and we'll go back to this window here. And you are basically done with the app for right now. You don't need to do anything else for the time being, but we will come back to this in a moment. So from here, you go back to your PlayStation, and you're going to come up here to the cog wheel. So here where it says settings on your cog wheel, you're going to hit the X button, and you're going to scroll down here to where it says users and accounts. Underneath that is where it says family and parental controls. We're not going to do that just yet. You want to go here to users and accounts first. Make sure you are logged into your account when you do this, and go down to login settings. I get a lot of parents that ask me or like, hey, my son or daughter or whatever is getting onto my account when I restrict their account. How can I prevent that? This is how you prevent that, because you can't prevent that from their parental settings. So you have to go right into here and you can say log into PS5 automatically. You can have this on or off. It really doesn't matter. I like to leave it off so that every time it pops up, the user chooses which account they want to get onto. If you have it log in automatically, it'll still request the password, so you can do either one. But you want to go right here to require a PS5 login passcode. You're going to choose that, and then you're going to put in your PS5 login passcode. I'm just going to make mine 1111 just for easy, so I can remember it. But you put in whatever code you want, and just make sure you do remember that code. You can always change it later right here, and then if you want to, you can delete it by going right here and entering that passcode. Once you have done that, you are good to go, and you no longer have to do this ever again if you don't want to. Every time that you log in, though, you will have to put in that code, and your child won't be able to get into your account. Next is going to be the family and parental controls. You're going to go down to that and hit X on that. You hit circle, by the way, to back up if you are unaware of how to get back a screen. Sometimes it doesn't tell you that, like from right here, it doesn't tell you hit circle, but you hit circle and it'll back up a screen. So here, the first thing we're going to look at is the PS5 console restrictions. We're going to go ahead and click on that. You do need to put in your passcode that you just created. And from here, you see user creation and guest login. I like to say do not allow or don't allow this. You can allow this so they can create their own login account. You know, they can, anybody that comes over, their friends come over, they can create a guest account, or they can just log in, you know, their friends can log into the account, whatever. I say don't allow this so that they have to come and ask me if they want to do that, and I can turn that temporarily off. You can also come right down here and just turn off the restrictions temporarily whenever you want. But if you say don't allow, that'll prevent everything else down below it. You don't have to worry about it. But if you do happen to say do allow, you can come down here to parental controls for new users. And this sets a default parental control for any new user who hasn't joined the PlayStation Network. So if your child goes in, creates a brand new account, that's not under your family management, then this will set the default controls. Go ahead and hit X on this, and I set this to 0 years old for the PlayStation 5, and the PlayStation 4 I set it to level 1. The reason for that is because you can't do anything at 0 years old. You actually have to take this and go up to at least 6 years old before they can start seeing any of the games and stuff. So ratings of games that can be played. Otherwise, you can't really do anything. Also, you can go here to the country or region. I set it to United States because that's where I'm at. You can set it to whatever you want. What that will do is set the ESRB rating based on whatever that country uses. So in the United States, we use the ESRB, and that's going to set the level range based on how they set that. So you're going to back out from that. On the PlayStation 4, they do a level range. So it's very similar, but it's just based on level, and the levels go up in age. So level 3 would be your 6 years old or older. I just, again, set that at 0. You can leave these at 0 because it's only for the brand new users. You don't really need to worry about that once you set up the correct users on the account, whatever your child's account is. Scroll down. You're going to do the same thing for Blu-ray disc. I set that for 0. So that they can't play any movies or anything like that for brand new users. DVDs, I set that at the bottom tier as well, so they can't do anything. Country or region, again, whatever yours is. The VR, so if you want to use the PSVR 2 or the PSVR, some parents don't mind them using that, some do, so you can just restrict that or not restrict that right here from this. Web browsing, you can restrict that from right here or not if you want them to be able to get on the internet or not. I do recommend putting that restriction on because a lot of parents don't want them doing web browsing anyway. That prevents a lot of other apps from being opened as well, so I would recommend doing that. Once you have set all of these things up, you can go ahead and hit circle to back out of there again. And you want to go into family management. If you have the users down here, you can jump straight into the users, but we're going to go into family management so that we can show you how to set that up. So under family management, you can choose all of your members. This is going to be my account, obviously, so you can see all of the adult accounts under here as well. But I can choose my account, and my account is just going to show me my login, my ID, all that kind of stuff. And then you can look at your child's account as well. Or you can add a family member from here, but we already added the family member from the app, so you shouldn't need to do that. If you do need to, though, there you go. You can add it right there. But we're going to look at Kriddle Jr., and we're going to take the quick look at all of the parental settings here. So playtime settings, this is basically going to be how much playtime do they have. You're going to go in here, and if you want to restrict their amount of playtime per day, you click that and toggle it on. And then when playtime ends, you have two options here. There's the notify only playtime, and then there's the log out of PS5. I recommend doing the notify only. The reason for that is it's going to prevent a lot of meltdowns from some kids. If you just say log out of the PS5 or the PS4 or whatever it is, if you just tell it to log out in the middle of their game, you don't know what's going to happen. So I try to prevent some of that, and I say just notify them when it's got 5 minutes of their playtime runs out, right? So it lets them know ahead of time, you've got 5 minutes, you better just wrap up what you're doing, otherwise it's going to kick you off. Next thing you want to do is come right down here to duration and playable hours. Click on that, and you can do the same time every day, or you can do it by days of the week. I personally like to do it by days of the week, but that does cause a little bit more work for you. So let's just use Monday for an example, but you can set literally every single day of the week. So we're going to use Monday as our example here, and you can set this from anywhere from 15 minutes, which not really enough time, all the way up to 23 hours and 45 minutes. Or you can just completely turn it off for that day. So however you want to set that, we're going to give my son on, I usually give him about 2 hours or so on the weekdays. And then we come down here to start time and then end time. What this is basically what time does this 2 hour time frame start per day. I like to set it either, after school so that they can't get on in the morning and get distracted or whatever. So we do after school, maybe 3 o'clock, 3:30, whenever they get out of school. Or if you want to wait and say, after you finish your homework, you can, put it up here at like 5 o'clock. Say, come home from school, finish your homework, then you can get on. So we're going to say 5 o'clock to 9 o'clock. And basically what this means is that they have a 4-hour time frame that they're allowed to play, but they only get 2 hours of playtime. So if they start at 5, they can go up to 7. If they start at 5, they can go 5 to 6, and then they can get off for an hour, that kind of thing. So that's how that works. But if they do start after, let's say 7 p.m., then it's however much time up until 9. So let's say they start at 7:30, they're only going to be able to play for an hour and a half because it will cut them off at 9 p.m. And we're going to go ahead and hit OK. So you can set that per day, and you can change, whatever days you want. Once you have that all set up, you hit save. So you're going to hit X to save. And this is basically just telling you, make sure that your child is signed in to the PlayStation Network so that it will apply those settings. So when you create their account, you have to do that. Next, we are going to, so this is the playtime for today. It tells you exactly right there at the top. You can click on that and you can adjust the playtime for today if you want to directly. And then this is the restrictions that we just set up. This is the time zone. So you want to put this in the time zone. Otherwise, that 5 o'clock to 9 o'clock time won't make any sense. So make sure you set the time zone correctly here. Parental controls. This is where you set the rating of the game or games that your child can play. So right now this one's set for no restrictions for my son, but you can set it for late teen or older, early teens, child, no restrictions, or custom. I like to go with custom, and the reason for that is because obviously if you say if you say early teen, it's a range of 13 to 15. Maybe there's some games that you don't mind, some you do, whatever. So I would just go down here to custom and say I want to do custom. Then you're going to choose from there the age appropriate for your child. This is based on the ESRB ratings, so you may want to tweak this a little bit for yourself, but you can say don't restrict. Or you can choose whatever age you want. I have no idea why they even start at age 21 or older, because if you have a child that's 21 or older and you're restricting them, that's kind of weird. But you can come down here and say maybe you have a 13-year-old, but you don't want them to play every single teen-rated game. So you put it down here at 12. Say I want it to be 12 years old. And we can go ahead and hit circle to back out of there, and it'll let them play anything up to the 12-year-old rating. And then you can actually go and whitelist specific games that are rated T for teen if you want to. You can do the same thing down here for your PS4 and PS3. So we're going to go here and we're going to say for the PS4 and PS3, we're going to say, level 4, which is age 10 or older. And then you can also go down here, and this is where you set, can they watch DVDs, Blu-rays, that kind of thing. So before you set it for brand new users, now we're setting it just for this one user, which happens to be my son in this case. So the lower the rating, the more strict it is. If you put this at a 0, they can't really do anything. And then you can go all the way up to these much higher ratings. And the higher ratings they say it's an age rating, but I mean, this thing goes up to 255. So I don't know why they do that. But I personally just let my son watch whatever DVDs and movies he wants. because he has his own collection of stuff. But most kids don't really watch DVDs and movies on their PlayStation, in my opinion. But you can set those right here. You can do the country again, which is United States for me, but this is, again, wherever you live. Use of the PlayStation VR 2 or the PlayStation VR. So some people want to restrict this, some don't. They do say that anyone under the age of 12, you need to be a little careful with that. I'm not a doctor. I'm not going to tell you what to do or not do, but you can restrict that right here or not restrict it if you want to do that. Web browsing is another one that I like to restrict, just so they can't get out on the web. They can't do anything like that from here. If they want to do that, they can do that on their phone or on their tablets or whatever. Online experience, communication, and user-generated content. I like to restrict that because then they can't go in and just communicate with anybody that sends them a message. So I just go ahead and restrict that, and they can actually send you a message, and we'll go over how to do that through the app. Age filtering for online content, we can go ahead and restrict that as well. Again, they can send you some stuff, and we'll go how to do that. And then the monthly spending, you can set this to whatever they want. Maybe you want to give them, $25 a month as an allowance that they can spend on games or whatever, or maybe you don't want to give them anything. I just put mine at 0, and then whenever my son wants a game or something, he can come ask me for it. So you want to hit confirm once you have set that up. And then again, it's going to say make sure that you have your child signed in. And we do. Down here for allowed games, this is allowing you to whitelist a game. So your child can actually go in and say, hey, I want to play this game, and it'll send it to you on the app. I'm going to show you how to do that. Same thing with communication here. They can actually request those things. Privacy setting is another one of those things where you're going to do that from the app, which I will also show you. But if you want to set that up, you can see some of that right here. You can go scan the QR code, and it'll help you get into that. And then family member information. This is going to tell you family member information like my son's email address and his user ID, things like that. I'm not going to click on that for reasons, obviously. And then you can go in and reset the password. So if they forget their password, you should be able to go in here, put in your password since you're the family manager, and then reset their password. So it helps with if they forget their password. So now that we have done all of that, we're going to back out again. And we're going to go back to the very, very front page here, which go down here to switch users. We're going to switch over to my son, and it should tell us, since we just set all that up. Did I set it up right? Yes. So it now tells me down here, you see how he has 1 hour to play today. So when he logged in, it didn't actually pop up and say that. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. But it'll tell you when you log in, they have some amount of time to play. So he has 1 hour. And let's say he wants to play a game and Diablo is inappropriate for my son and his age, but I do have it for me on my PlayStation. So he can try to hit that, and it'll say, you can't use this game because of parental controls. You can send a request to your parent or guardian to allow you to do that. And this is what I was saying with the app. So we're going to pop up the app here, and I'm going to move it over here to the side. And we are going to back up a screen just so I can show you how this works. So let's say they want to play Diablo and you're okay with it. They can say send request. Okay, so you should have logged in. If you didn't log in, it sends the request over to, it sends the request over to my account from my son's account. From here, you should be able to go right here, scroll down. It pops up on your phone, by the way. It'll come up with like a little thing will pop down, but in the app, you'll have to go down here to family management. Okay, so to go to the family management, you click on Kriddle Jr., and here you can see a lot of different things that it allow you to change. So we already set up a lot of these settings previously, but you can go in here anytime you want on your app now that you have everything set up, and you can change all of those playtime settings. Everything that we just did on the PlayStation, you can change right here from your phone. So you never have to worry about going into it again from there. But what we just did is he sent a request to play Diablo. So if we scroll down here, we can get to gameplay, and you can see right under here, allowed games, gameplay request 1. We can click on that, and you can see Diablo was requested. I can click on that, and I can say don't allow, I can say allow, or I can say decide later. So maybe you want to check out the game and see if you want them to be able to use it. Just for test purposes, I'm going to go ahead and say allow. and then it will whitelist that game, and it'll pop up on the PlayStation. It said, accepted your request to play this game. So you see that actually on the PlayStation there, and then you can come back out, and now my son will be able to actually play the game if he wanted to. Of course, I wouldn't give my son access to Diablo because it's not appropriate for his age, but that is how you do that. It works the exact same way when you go to do communications. Hopefully this helped out with setting up your family management or parental controls for your PlayStation. If it did, please like, subscribe, follow, all that good stuff. I really do appreciate it. I do make some family-friendly content over on Twitch every single day. So, if you're looking for some place to go for your kid to check out a variety of games, we play things of all different ratings, but all the content I try to make as family-friendly as possible. I can't really control the game, but I do control chat and myself. Thank you so much, and hopefully I see you next time. Bye!